When a man's hand starts to wander, when his fingers begin to explore that area, most women either tense up, freeze, or assume it's just a mindless act of lust. What if I told you there's something deeper going on, something emotional, instinctive, and even romantic? Because here's the truth. When a man uses his fingers down there, it's rarely just about turning you on. It's about connection, curiosity, and control all at once. See, women often underestimate how powerful that moment is for a man. It's not simply foreplay. It's an invitation, one that allows him to feel trusted, wanted, and capable of pleasing you in ways that words never could. For men, it's not only the act itself, it's the reaction, the sound of your breath catching, the way your body responds, the subtle shift from resistance to surrender. That's what drives him wild. In this speech, we're going to uncover the real reasons why men love putting their fingers down there and what most women don't realize it actually means. Because once you understand this, once you stop seeing it as just a move and start seeing it as a language, everything about your physical connection changes. You'll no longer second guess his intentions. Instead, you'll feel the meaning behind every touch. So let's dive deep into what's really going on in his mind and his heart when he does this, and how understanding it can make your bond even more magnetic. When a man touches you down there with his fingers, what's really happening isn't just physical, it's emotional. Most women think of this as just another step before things go further. But to a man, it's often his way of saying, I want to know you. Not just your body, but how you respond, how you feel, how you trust. It's one of the rare moments where he's not thinking about performing or impressing. He's fully in the moment, tuning into your every breath, your rhythm, your heartbeat. Men are wired to crave feedback. When he's touching you, he's not just focused on pleasure. He's studying you like a beautiful mystery he wants to solve. Every sigh, every little shift of your hips, every time your eyes close, it tells him something. It tells him he's connecting, that his touch matters, that he's seen and felt. And that's why it's so intoxicating for him. It's his way of getting a glimpse of the real, raw, unfiltered version of you, the part that doesn't hide behind words or expectations. Think about it. In daily life, men often feel shut out emotionally. They're taught not to cry, not to overshare, not to need. But in this space, when it's just the two of you, everything changes. For that moment, he's allowed to be tender, curious, and even vulnerable. Using his fingers gives him a sense of control, yes, but also a sense of belonging. It's his way of saying, I want to make you feel safe enough to let go. And that's what most women don't realize. It's not about dominance, it's about connection. The fingers are just the tool. What he's really seeking is a kind of emotional electricity that tells him, I'm doing something right. I'm making her feel. That moment when you stop thinking, when your body naturally leans into his touch, that's when he feels closest to you. It's as if he's been invited into your world, into the most sacred part of your energy, and that privilege means more to him than most will ever admit. There's also something incredibly powerful about the trust that moment requires. When you let him touch you like that, you're silently saying, I trust you to handle me gently, to listen to my body, to respect my space. And when a man senses that level of trust, it changes the entire dynamic. Suddenly, it's not just about excitement, it's about responsibility. He wants to honor that trust. He becomes more intentional, more focused, more present. That's why when he's using his fingers, he's not just exploring your body, he's exploring his own ability to create pleasure without words, to communicate without talking. And believe me, men remember the moments when a woman let them feel that kind of closeness. It's not something he easily forgets because it touches the part of him that's not just masculine, but human. So the next time his hand goes there, instead of wondering what he's thinking, realize this. He's thinking about you. He's trying to connect, to understand, to be part of that silent conversation your body is having with his. For him, it's the most honest kind of dialogue. There is one where words disappear and only feeling remains. That's the real reason men love it. Not because it's naughty, but because it's real, it's raw, it's intimate. And for a man who truly cares, that's the kind of closeness he lives for. One of the biggest misconceptions women have about men is that they always want to be in control, that everything they do in the bedroom is about dominance or ego. But when a man uses his fingers down there, something fascinating happens. He's not chasing performance. He's not trying to prove himself. He's stepping into a space where he can give pleasure without pressure. See, men are often under enormous pressure to perform physically. Society, movies, even jokes among friends, they all build up this idea that his worth in intimacy is tied to how long he lasts or how intense things get. But when he uses his fingers, that expectation vanishes. Suddenly, he can slow down, pay attention, experiment. He's not relying on stamina or endurance. He's relying on connection. It's not about finishing something. It's about feeling something. With his fingers, he gets to be an artist instead of an athlete. Every movement becomes a brushstroke, slow, deliberate, expressive. He can read your body like a living language, adjusting, exploring, discovering what truly makes you melt. That's the kind of power that doesn't come from dominance. It comes from awareness, from knowing he can make you lose yourself without even needing to go all the way. That's intoxicating for him because it tells him he can create pleasure just by being present. And here's the part that most women don't realize when you respond to his touch. It builds his confidence more deeply than any compliment ever could. When he feels your body react naturally, not forced, not exaggerated, but genuinely responding, it tells him he's doing something right. It's like emotional oxygen for him, because in that moment, he's not guessing or hoping you're enjoying it. He knows you are. And that knowing makes him feel powerful in the best, most vulnerable way. But this kind of power isn't about control. It's about trust. He's trusted with something precious, your response. And because there's no rush to the main event, he gets to explore what really turns you on. Every woman is different. What drives one wild might barely move another. So when he's using his fingers, he's learning you. He's decoding the map of your body, finding the roads that lead to your pleasure. And once he learns them, he never forgets. There's also something freeing for him in this kind of intimacy. For once, he doesn't have to perform. He just has to listen. He can focus on your breath, the pace of your heartbeat, the warmth of your skin. It becomes a dance where he leads, but only by following your rhythm. That's what makes him feel powerful, not because he's in charge, but because he's in tune. And if you think about it, this is what real intimacy looks like when both people are free from expectations. You don't have to react a certain way to please him, and he doesn't have to prove anything to feel manly. It's just two people exploring each other, guided by instinct and trust. So the next time he touches you like that, remember, it's not just a move he learned somewhere. It's his way of saying, I want to please you and I want to understand you. He's not trying to take, he's trying to give. And that's the difference between a man who's just chasing excitement and a man who's chasing connection. Because deep down, what he really wants isn't applause. It's reaction, not performance, but partnership. And when you let him know through your body and your energy that you feel him not just physically, but emotionally, that's when he feels most like a man. Not because he dominated you, but because he moved you. When a man uses his fingers down there, it's not always about rushing towards something more. Often it's about creating something deeper first. For many men, this is the quiet bridge between desire and emotional safety. It's how he learns to trust that you trust him. It's his way of saying, before I take more, I want to make sure you feel safe enough to let me in. Because here's the truth, while women are often told to protect their hearts, men are rarely told how vulnerable they are emotionally. Most men won't say it out loud, but physical intimacy is one of the few ways they know how to connect without words. They don't always have the language to express care, devotion, or tenderness, but through touch, they can show it. Using his fingers allows him to enter a moment of closeness that's raw and honest, where nothing feels forced or expected. It's also one of the rare times he's paying full attention. When he's touching you there, his mind isn't scattered. He's present, listening to every cue your body gives him. He's aware of how you move, how you breathe, how your body trusts him enough to soften under his touch. And that kind of trust affects him more deeply than most women realize. Because for a man, being trusted in such a vulnerable space makes him feel safe too. Safe to be gentle, affectionate, and real. This moment also teaches him about your comfort zone. When you guide him with a whisper, a sigh, or even your hand on his, you're not just telling him what feels good, you're teaching him how to respect your boundaries while deepening your connection. For a man who genuinely cares, that matters more than you think. It tells him you're not just allowing him in physically, but emotionally, that you're opening the door to something more intimate than words can describe. What many women miss is how much validation men feel when they earn that level of trust. It's not just about being allowed to touch you. It's about being invited to. that difference means everything, because that invitation tells him, you make me feel comfortable, you make me feel safe, and I want to share myself with you. And that hits him right in the heart. It makes him want to protect that bond, not exploit it. That's also why in that moment, he's not only exploring your body, he's exploring how you feel about him. Your response tells him volumes. If you're relaxed, if you're open, if you seem emotionally connected, he takes that as a sign of trust and mutual desire. But if you're distant or withdrawn, he senses that too. So when a man slows down and uses his hands, it's his way of saying, I want to get this right. I want to make sure you're with me, not just beside me. And that right there, that patience, that attentiveness is how real emotional intimacy is built. Because the deeper truth is this: when a man feels trusted enough to touch you that way, he starts to trust himself more too. He becomes more comfortable showing affection outside the bedroom, holding your hand, kissing your forehead, hugging you from behind. The physical trust translates into emotional safety, and emotional safety is what makes love last. So yes, when he's touching you with his fingers, it might look like a simple act of passion, but for many men, it's a silent promise. You can trust me to take care of you. I'll listen. I'll go at your pace. And that's why he loves it, because through that moment, he's not just connecting with your body, he's connecting with your soul. When a man's hand travels down there, it's not just an impulsive move. It's his way of reading the room. His fingers become his way of listening. And what he's listening for is you, your breathing, your heartbeat, the way your body reacts. All of it tells him whether you're truly there with him, whether your desire matches his. Men are often more intuitive in these moments than they get credit for. When he touches you, he's not only trying to please you, he's measuring the energy between you. For a man who genuinely cares, he doesn't want to assume you're ready just because things are getting heated. He wants to feel it. He wants to sense that spark, that mutual craving. So when he slides his fingers there, it's his way of asking a question without saying a word. Do you want me to? And when your body answers, when your breath quickens or your hand reaches for him, it's a silent yes. That lights him up inside. That confirmation does something powerful to him. It tells him he's not just taking, he's being wanted. Men crave that reassurance more than they admit. They want to feel chosen, not just accepted. And when you respond naturally, when you stop holding back and let your body express what your words might not, it reassures him that your desire is genuine. That's when anticipation starts to build, not just for him, but for both of you. Because in that slow dance of fingers and breath, the excitement isn't about what's happening right now. It's about what could happen next. Here's the thing: most women don't realize men love the build-up just as much as the act itself. The teasing, the exploring, the unspoken tension, that's what drives them wild. It's like emotional foreplay. It's not just about physical reaction. It's about emotional rhythm. Every touch is a note. Every sigh is a melody, and he's learning to play your song by heart. And when you let him take his time, when you don't rush it or make it mechanical, you allow him to enjoy one of his favorite sensations, anticipation with purpose. For him, these moments are deeply rewarding because they make him feel attuned to you. He's learning your signals, your pace, your cues. And that makes him feel competent, not in an ego-driven way, but in a way that says, I know how to make her feel good. When you let go and respond to his rhythm, it's like you're dancing together. Only no one's leading or following. It's a shared motion where he gives and you respond, and the space between you becomes charged with energy. This anticipation is what turns a simple touch into something unforgettable. It's what separates a fling from chemistry that lingers in the mind for days. Because when a man takes his time exploring you like that, it's not about finishing fast. It's about making every moment count. He loves watching you melt slowly, hearing the subtle sounds that tell him he's touching the right spot. He loves seeing the change in your face, that exact moment when desire overtakes hesitation. That's the moment he lives for. And that's the secret. He's not just touching you to excite you. He's creating tension that keeps both of you coming back for more. The more anticipation he builds, the stronger the connection becomes. Because anticipation feeds intimacy. It tells him you're not just physically present, but emotionally invested. And that, more than anything, makes him obsessed with you. The kind of obsession that isn't shallow, but magnetic. So the next time his fingers wander, remember, he's not just exploring, He's listening. He's tuning into your signals, learning your responses, and building anticipation, not just for pleasure, but for connection. Because for a man who's truly into you, that's the sweetest part of all. The waiting, the watching, the learning, the moment right before everything else fades away. Most people assume that when a man puts his fingers down there, it's purely about his own desire, that he's the one in control, the one taking the lead. But in truth, for many men, this act is how they feel needed. It's how they know they're wanted, appreciated, and capable of giving something that only they can. Because for men, being desired isn't just about ego, it's about purpose. Men are often taught to hide their emotional needs. They don't usually ask to be wanted. They just hope you show it in a way they can understand. And physical touch, especially when it's raw, intimate, and real, becomes that language. So when his fingers wander, when he feels your body responding, it tells him something words never could. You want me, you trust me, you need me here. That's what fuels him. That's what makes him stay. What women often don't realize is that men crave emotional reassurance through physical experiences. They don't always need to hear, "You make me feel good." They need to feel it in how your body reacts to them. When you sigh, move closer, or softly guide his hand, that response is powerful. It says, "You're doing something no one else can." That sense of exclusivity, of being the one who can make you melt, gives him emotional fulfillment. It tells him he's enough. And for a man, that's everything. Because deep down, even the most confident man wonders if he's truly desired or just tolerated. When he touches you and you let yourself go, when you don't hide your pleasure or hold back, you're giving him emotional permission to feel worthy. You're showing him that his presence makes a difference, that he's not just a man in the room. He's your man in that moment. This act, though subtle, can make a man feel profoundly connected. It's not about power or domination, it's about validation. He feels valuable not for what he provides materially, but for what he gives emotionally through touch. And when a man feels emotionally needed like that, he doesn't pull away, he attaches deeper. He becomes protective, attentive, and even more affectionate because you've tapped into a part of him most people never reach. There's another layer to this too, vulnerability. When he touches you, he's opening himself up emotionally, even if he hides it behind confidence, because he knows this kind of intimacy only works if there's trust. He's silently saying, "I want to make you feel good, but I also want to feel that you want me to." When that energy flows both ways, it becomes more than just physical chemistry. It becomes emotional synchrony. That's why afterward, he often looks at you differently, softer, warmer, because he didn't just touch your body, he felt you, and you let him feel seen in return. And when you meet that energy, when you touch him back, whisper his name, or look into his eyes as you let go, that's when he feels it the most. Not just lust, but connection. Because to him, it's not about being skilled, it's about being chosen. When a woman shows through her response that she enjoys what he's giving, she's giving him something rare, affirmation that he matters in that moment, that his efforts mean something. So yes, when a man puts his fingers down there, it's physical, but it's also deeply emotional. It's how he feels seen, how he feels needed, and how he feels desired. He's not just exploring your pleasure, he's finding his sense of significance in your response. It's his way of saying, "I'm here for you. I want to make you feel alive." And when you let him, when you stop performing and just allow yourself to feel, you give him something more intoxicating